I don't know about you, but I am constantly upgrading the gear that I have here in the NerdNest, but I think I tend to upgrade the same stuff over and over while other parts of my gaming setup just stays the same. So today I wanted to talk about some of those items that people neglect and keep for a really long time. It's time to dust those things off and replace some of them I've had for years. Some of these items I purchased myself, some of them I received for free from manufacturers, and I will indicate those things on the screen on the bottom left corner when I talk about these items. But no money changed hands, and they don't get to see this video ahead of time. They are not sponsoring this video, but this video does have a sponsor, and that sponsor is dbrand. Dbrand recently sent me their kill switch case for Nintendo Switch 2, as well as a discount for you of $35 off your kill switch case. If you're not familiar with dbrand, they make protective cases for all kinds of devices, including Steam Deck, ROG Ally, ROG Ally X, and of course Switch 2. And along with their cases, they sent over these decals, which make your Switch look just a little bit more playful than it does otherwise. They also are super easy to install, and when you're ready to upgrade to your next Switch, these decals should protect your Switch 2 from getting most scratches. Even with the case on, you can still remove your Joy-Cons from the side, and the covers have grips, which makes holding the Joy-Cons so much more comfortable than without. So if you are looking to protect just about any handheld gaming system these days, dbrand makes some really great cases and accessories, and they are all available by clicking in the link down below that like button. So make sure you check it out if you want to save $35 off your Kill Switch 2 case. And a big thanks to dbrand for being longtime sponsors right here at the NerdNest. I have been using the same monitors for years. Honestly, I don't know how long it's been, but it's been at least 5 years at this point. I finally decided to upgrade, and I got this one, which was sent to me from Asus. But keep in mind, they are not paying for this video and they don't get to see it ahead of time. It is horrifically named the ROG Swift OLED PG32UC-DM. I'm upgrading from two 27-inch 4K screens. My plan was to keep one of them and then this and a new 2-monitor setup, but the new monitor makes the old one look just so horrid by comparison that having them side by side drove me crazy. So I decided to simplify my setup and go down to one monitor, and I have to say I am really enjoying the extra desk space. This 32-inch monitor has a QD OLED screen which looks just fantastic with a 240Hz refresh rate and VRR and BFI, so gameplay always looks incredibly smooth. I was really worried about the glossy coating, as I previously only ever had matte coated screens, and there's a window directly opposite my gaming setup. I won't say it's as good at getting rid of reflections with this glossy coating, but after using this monitor for about a month at this point, I can say that I forgot about the reflections. That said, if you think that you couldn't ignore them, make sure that you get one that has a matte finish instead. The benefit to having a glossy screen is that the colors on this OLED panel really pop. Everything looks awesome. Games look great in HDR, though I do hate my operating system to be in HDR. It makes certain windows just look kind of dull. This has really tiny bezels and it has LED lights on the back, but they don't seem to be really bright enough to illuminate the wall behind me, but I don't care about that because I would have turned them off anyway, and that's what I did. This monitor has a really great menu system with a little joystick on the back. It has multiple inputs which are very easy to switch between. Since it's an OLED screen and I'm using this for my computer, I'm glad to say that it has a pixel cleaning mode, and it even reminds you every once in a while to run the pixel cleaning mode. The process takes about 5 to 7 minutes while it's running and the screen goes black. I usually end up running it when I'm done using my computer for the day. I'd love to be able to set this as a schedule, say run it every day at 2 a.m. or something like that. That way I never have to do it, but I'm glad that it's an option. It has a built-in picture-in-picture capabilities, so you can use it on 2 devices at the same time. Also, because it's OLED, it has a proximity sensor to detect when no one is actually sitting at the screen. It just shuts itself off. This is awesome because when I'm uploading episodes of the podcast, which you can watch using the link down below, those files are massive, and I don't want my computer going to sleep while I'm uploading, but I want the display to go to sleep, and it does that automatically while I upload. Very cool feature. Plus, it has independently adjustable shadow boost settings. It has a built-in FPS counter and graph. It has a crosshair that you can put on the screen. It has timers. It has stopwatches. The features on this screen are just crazy. It also comes with a built-in KVM, so if you are using it with multiple devices, you can plug them all in and switch really easily. It comes with monitor stands, but I always use a monitor arm instead to give me extra room on my desk. This is the Huando single monitor arm, and it's good for up to a 40-inch screen. It has no problem handling the weight of the screen. I did have to buy a new monitor arm because my old arm had two arms and I was only going to use one for this screen, so I ended up getting a new one. It is linked down below that like button, along with anything else that I'm going to be talking about in the video today. Since we're talking about screens, I have way too many gaming devices to put them all on one screen without an HDMI splitter. This is the Corsa HD HDMI splitter, and I got this one because I have a 120 Hz TV. It supports 8K at 60 Hz. I don't know why I care about that. Nobody has 8K. It also has 4K at 120 Hz, and it has eARC, an optical out, HDMI audio out, so you can hook it up to your sound system, which I'm going to be talking about later on in the video. It has a remote, which I've lost, but it doesn't matter because just about everything works automatically. Whenever I turn on devices on my TV, it automatically says switch to or Xbox or the name of my PC, and then switches over to those automatically. This is great because my TV only has one HDMI 2.1 compatible port, so putting all of my devices on the same port was absolutely the way to go. I currently have my Xbox, my PS5, my Switch 2, and my gaming PC all running through the same HDMI switch and into the same port, and they all work awesome, and they all take advantage of HDMI 2.1. Moving on to my sound system. This one, I can't really give you links to everything that I bought, as a lot of it I got used, but what I can, I will leave Amazon links down below. Let's talk about why you should probably upgrade. When I got out of the Army, I had a very nice sound system, but that was 20 years ago. When my wife and I got married, we had an extremely small apartment, and there was my wife, me, and our daughter, and it was just too cramped, and we didn't need an extra sound system in there, so I ended up getting rid of it, and we went without for the last 20 years, just using the speakers on the TV instead. But my friend Pat would always be talking about how amazing his sound system was. So I decided when I remodeled the NerdNest that I wanted to have good sound. I wanted to be able to play records, as my wife and I will usually go to our local record store and buy used jazz albums for like $1 or $3. I also wanted it to work with the TV, and I wanted it to work with Bluetooth in case I wanted to stream music from my phone. I also wanted it to work on my gaming system, so I ended up getting the Sony STRD-H190 for a receiver. This doesn't have a built-in phono preamp, so I had to buy that separately, linked down below, and I ended up buying speakers from my friend Pat. He sold me a pair of Axiom M3 speakers, and looking them up, wow, good God, did he give me a freaking great deal. They sound amazing. Thanks, Pat. I also wanted a subwoofer. I found the, I don't know how to say this, Klipsch H100SW 10-inch subwoofer on Amazon. It's huge. It is way bigger than I thought it would be, and it's hidden away pretty well right now, so I'm not going to dig it out for B-roll. It's just too big. Having my speakers separated from the TV actually lets me hear where my enemies are when I'm playing a game without the need to wear headphones, and as summer is on its way here, I hate wearing headphones in the summertime. So the speakers and the sound system are a massive upgrade, but not just for gaming, but also for TV and music. And I'm still considering whether or not I want to pick up 2 more speakers to put behind us so that we can have surround sound when we're up here. But I'm going to hold off for now. If anybody knows of really good rear speakers that I should pick up, please let me know the model number in the comment section down below that like button. Next up, keyboards. I had very specific requirements when I started shopping for keyboards. I wanted to have a keyboard that would connect wirelessly. It had to be able to connect to multiple devices. LEDs are fine, but not a deal breaker. I don't really care about LEDs on a computer keyboard. I also wanted to be able to control the volume from the keyboard, and I wanted it to feel great to type on. I wanted it to have a top-notch build quality so that it would last a really long time. This is the Keychron Q1 HE-QMK, and it meets all of my requirements. It checks every single box and then some. It uses Gateron double rail magnetic switches because they are Hall effect keys. I'll be honest, I don't really notice the fact that they're Hall effect, but this thing is a dream to type on, and it's completely customizable. So you can just hop in the software and adjust the actuation point to make your experience more or less responsive. This is what it sounds like to type on. It ships with Mac keys attached, which is nice for me as I'm a Mac guy, but they also give you the tool and the keys to swap over to the Windows glyphs if you want. It's super easy to do. That's what we did with my son's keyboard. It has a volume knob on the top right, which is really handy because when I record the podcast, which you should absolutely subscribe to, hint, hint, all the other guys have their mics dialed in at different levels. Now, I always fix this in post so that you guys don't have to hear that. But when we are recording, every time Carrie starts talking, I have to crank the volume down. And then every time my friend Russ starts talking, I have to crank the volume back up. Their microphones just are not compatible with each other. Having access to this as a dial instead of buttons is awesome because I can do that on the fly super easy. The build quality of this thing is probably the best thing about it. It is an absolute beast. It's made out of aluminum and it weighs nearly 2 kilograms. That means that when you put it wherever you want it, it's going to stay there and it is not going to move unless you want it to move. Again, they did send this for free, but they didn't pay me. However, they were really nice and they put my logo on the keyboard, which was super nice of them. They also sent me one with a numpad, which I used for a few days, but it was taking up too much room on my desk, so I decided to take to work, and I used that for entering student grades. It makes my job a lot easier. Games keep getting bigger and bigger, and most developers don't see any reason to streamline how big their games are getting. And because of this, downloading the games seems to take forever. When I first got the Switch 2, I was downloading games so that I could do my review, and it took ages to download the games. I decided it was time for me to upgrade my Google Wi-Fi access points, which I think they were about 6 years old at this point. I went with the Asus Zen Wi-Fi BT10. Full disclosure, Asus sent these to me for free. The first ones that they sent were a dud. I reached out, I said, hey, these aren't working. They sent me another one. They work flawlessly. I think I just got a bad one. While I talk about this and its features, I'm going to show you some before and after speed tests so you can see what kind of results that I got when I upgraded from Google Wi-Fi to the BT10. Keep in mind that the NerdNest is upstairs in my attic and the access point is one floor down, so the signal has to go through the floor. It comes with 2 access points. My house is pretty long, so I put them on opposite sides of the house. My wife's office always had issues with internet because it's so far from where cable comes into the house. But this one is much better. You can manage the entire network from an app on your phone, both when you're at home and remotely. So if there happens to be an issue when I'm not home and my kids text me and they say, hey, can I get these things working? I can get everything back up and running from wherever I happen to be. One thing I didn't expect was for the Ethernet to actually be faster. I just expected Wi-Fi to be faster. I ran a network test right before swapping them out, and then again after, and I got an extra 300 to 400 megabits per second out of that. Plus, this has a bunch of separate networks, so there's a normal one, and then there's a 5G one, and then a 6G one. The higher ones are faster, but less reliable. So the farther the devices are from an access point that I am, I usually drop down to the lower numbers, but if you're up close, man, this thing can get like a gig speeds on Wi-Fi, which is great. Just like my old Wi-Fi setup, I can control which devices get access to different parts of the internet at different times of the day. So if I want the kids to have all their devices lose internet access at bedtime, that's super easy to do. Still, the best network you can have is a wired one, but if you're playing on handheld devices a lot like I do, or if your house really isn't set up well for wires, a good Wi-Fi network is a must, and it just makes running everything easier. So if this was useful to you, leave a nice upgrades comment down in the comment section below, and I will thumbs up your comment for making it this far into the video. What did you think about these upgrades, and what upgrades do you think that I missed out on? What should I get next for my setup? As always, from the Nerd Nest, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay rad, everyone. Bye-bye.